Hey, Diane. Welcome. Keith, Maria. I'm not sure which one of the
Hi, how are you?
pretty good. And you?
Not too shabby, just a usual Thursday, busy as always.
That's just every day, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're welcome to turn on your camera so we can see your smiling face.
Well, I would if I could figure out my camera. I don't know what's going on with it. I tried it on the last Zoom call, uh, and for some reason I couldn't get it to work. So
Those things happen.
yeah, I'm gonna have to look at the settings on it when I have time to figure that out. If I was using my cell phone, I probably would be able to see it. You would probably be able to see me, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna have myself on mute a little bit just because I might be getting some phone calls, but I'll be listening and watching.
Okay. All right. Keith, is
And
that you or Maria?
it's me.
Welcome.
I don't know why it's showing Maria's name, but maybe she was doing something on my computer.
Yeah, I knew that you had registered and then I saw Maria, so I wasn't sure. Maybe it's her account you're using? Zoom? I don't know.
No, she doesn't do Zoom, so that's why I'm kind of laughing at it showing her.
Okay.
But I don't, is my picture showing? Can you see my
No,
video?
I do not see looks like your camera's not on.
Should be on. I'll play around with it and I'll get it on in a second here.
Okay. Yeah, we got another minute here and then we'll get it started. We've got several other folks that haven't checked in yet, so
And you are recording this in case I missed something on it.
yes.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
Keith, are you actively using Realeflow?
Yes, but I'm still a newbie, so I'm looking for any tips and tricks you can give me.
Yep, understand.
I think I know Maria. Is she also a realtor?
Yes, she is.
I met her then.
Oh, which event?
Last fall. I met her, and her and I were actually talking about the whole wholesaling thing, and she told me a little bit about you guys. So
All world.
Oh, I hope she said good things.
uh, well, hopefully when she remembers me, if she remembers me, she'll say good things about me too. It was at a house in Keller we were looking at together. So
oh, okay. I was like,
yeah,
oh,
Carlos.
small metroplex, right?
mm-hmm.
Yep.
Very cool.
Carlos, you there? Okay, we're gonna get started here in just a second. Checking in a couple more folks here. Okay.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Taryn. Welcome. Long time no see. Hope you're doing okay.
Yes, I know. Thank you.
Um,
Been working on some things.
well, good. That's a good thing, right?
Yes, it is.
So welcome everybody. Michael, welcome to the call. If you have a camera for everybody, you're welcome to turn on your camera. These things are not just educational, but meant to network and stuff with everybody. My name's Tim Cook with the West DFW REI Group. A couple of you haven't been on this call before. This is a free call to everybody. And for those of you that may not know this, I've been using Realeflow for 13 plus years, and that should tell you something, especially in today's world where there is so many other CRM tools out there. Realeflow's been around a long time. I think they started somewhere around 15 years ago. I'm not positive on that, but it's pretty close. So I was one of the early users, and I am one of the more senior users that they have. I know one other that's right up there in the same time frame as me. But anyhow, it's a powerful tool. Doesn't mean it's a perfect tool. Doesn't mean that it does everything that we need to do in our business, and I'm going to talk some about that today. But for me, I've tried so many others, and I keep coming back to Realeflow. So there are things that I wish it would do, but and Realeflow does take bright ideas, they call it, and add new features and stuff, and they're doing that all the time. And we'll talk a little bit about that in just a couple of minutes. Just so I know that Keith is using Realeflow. Is anybody else using Realeflow? Anybody?
No.
Okay, I guess not. Okay, so Realeflow is a CRM tool. Let me go share my screen here, which is customer relations management, built specifically for investors. And it's built for you to manage your real estate investing business. I had this page brought up, but I guess I closed it. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. So it's designed to manage your real estate investing business, and I can do most everything that I need through this tool. And I'll tell you about some of the things that I do outside of Realeflow, and that's how I deal with certain things. Comps as being one of those. But let me just quickly go through what we're going to cover here real quick. You should have all seen this list of features and things here. We can't possibly cover all this stuff today, but I'm going to hit some of the highlights and try and go over some areas where some people have a lot of questions about. And some of the things that I think is the most powerful piece of the tool. So, leads, we're always after leads, right? So you can download leads as part of your membership on a daily basis. There are other lead sources out there that you can use and import into Realeflow, such as Real Estate IQ. That's what I do in most cases. I do some mailings from Realeflow, and we'll talk about that in a minute. You can do direct mail from within the system. This is one of the things that I really like, is you can take a list, whether you pull it from Realeflow or upload it yourself. You can create a direct mail campaign in just a couple of minutes right through Realeflow. And then you can have tracking phone numbers set up so you can track those calls right inside Realeflow of the responses. So it's pretty powerful. It is also, notice here, the cheapest one that I know of on the cost per postcard. And I don't want to lie to you, but the last I knew, last time I asked, it was something like 40 cents a postcard, which is dirt cheap compared to trying to go anyplace else. You also have the ability to create custom postcards. So they have a whole marketing library in there for you with postcards and letters and so forth, but you can also create a custom postcard template and upload it to your account. Okay. Contact management. This is one of the powerful pieces, in my opinion, because it allows you to build your buyers list directly in Realeflow by buyer type. So if you have landlords that want nothing but landlord type properties, you can build that list. If you have commercial type buyers, you can build that list. If you have wholesalers, you can build that list. So very easy to manage those buyers by the type of buyer. And then on top of that, you can manage your buyers by the cities and state that they want to buy in. Most investors out there today are just throwing their names, contacts in a Outlook or Gmail account or an Excel spreadsheet, and they get a lead and they send it to everybody. And to me, 23 years in the business, I get a bazillion leads a day in my email that I have no interest in because they're all in other areas that I don't buy in. And it's very frustrating to me. Realeflow solves that problem. Okay. Realeflow solves that problem. So they have custom websites built right into the Realeflow account, and you can attach them right to Realeflow so that whenever a buyer comes in or a seller, either one, that their data that they submit comes right into your account and you can see it. Okay. Very, very powerful. It's a systematic system. It's all tied together. You also have customizable autoresponders. All that is at no cost, no extra cost to you. You do have to pay for the domain name, but other than that, there's no cost to attach up to 100 or 99 websites to your system. All right. They also, they don't have a Realeflow app, but it does mobile optimize and works on your tablet and phones very easily and very well. Property listing pages, that's, again, you have your websites that you can connect to. Also, they use a system called SellPoint that will generate a link to your properties that you're selling, and you can send that out. And I'll try and show you that here in a bit. There's over 200, I think that's a typo. That's supposed to be 100,000 users across the US and Canada. They have a built-in deal analyzer tool. You can go in there and do general deal analysis on just some scenarios, or you can do it specific to your property. You also can do the same thing with the repair estimator. Now, they've done two things with the repair estimations. They have, and I'm going to show you this here in a minute. They have a rehab estimator. Rehab estimator that you can do a rough estimate to actually give to a seller if you wanted to show just what kind of things you are planning on doing to the house. That is a nice professional document that you can hand to a seller if they're interested. Then they have, once you get it under contract, you have a rehab planner tool that's connected to all the Home Depot SKUs, where you can go in and give a contractor the exact SKU numbers of the items you want in the rehab. And that's a much more detailed tool. You would not want to give that to a seller, but that's something that you can give to a general contractor, rehab contractor, and they would know exactly what you're looking for. Okay. Mobi messaging, which is a text-based messaging and voice messaging system. This system is a little antiquated. However, it does work, and notice there's no cost to it. So they do not charge you for any mobile or voice messaging with Realeflow. So it's a pretty cool tool. Again, it's a little antiquated. It's not so easy to use as some of the tools today, but once you figure that out, then it works pretty good. Automated email marketing, autoresponders connected right to websites. So if you have a pre-foreclosure website and you want to be marketing to those sellers 24/7, then you can set up that autoresponder. There's no extra cost to you for that. Lead pipes. Lead pipes is their lead system. That's what it's called. And you can do a one-time upgrade to go to the premium national or nationwide leads. So you can get leads from anywhere in the country. Okay. That's a one-time upgrade. If you have any interest in that, many times I can get you a discount because of my relationship with Realeflow. And you just have to reach out to me before you do anything. Don't sign up first and then look for a discount. Be sure you reach out to me first. AI, artificial intelligence leads. There's a lot of talk about AI out there today. Realeflow has been using AI scoring on their leads for probably maybe 2 years now. I'm not sure when it started. I need to play with it more. I keep saying I'm gonna start using it, and I haven't done an awful lot with it. But basically, I'm gonna show you a sample here in a little bit. Basically, what they're doing is they're scoring every lead for the likelihood of selling within the next 90 days. And you can spend your money, focus your money on those people that are likely to sell. So really what it's doing is allowing you to spend your money wisely, marketing to various types of sellers. By the way, I didn't say it, but up here in the premium lead pipes, when you upgrade, you have a total of, I believe it's 17 different types of leads to choose from. Okay. Skip tracing is a fairly new feature for them. There is a small cost per lead for skip tracing. Proof of funds letter. They have proof of funds through the Realeflow platform now. We also, if you need proof of funds, I'm pretty sure that we can get you that through the various lenders that we have in the West DFW REI Group, if you need that kind of help. Okay, so any questions about all the different types of things that we just covered? Has anybody heard of, or are you looking at or using the Realeflow? The Realeflow Analyze app that they just came out with? Anybody? No? Okay, we'll talk briefly about that. And then they're working on more features all the time. So you'll see stuff come out from me about that, as well as Realeflow. So far, there's been over 10 billion in real estate transactions processed through Realeflow. And a new number that they just come out with, they've had over 1 million direct mail pieces that have been sent through Realeflow. Okay, so a lot to the tool, and that's kind of the quick overview. Let me find. Okay, can you see my Realeflow?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this is the home page, the dashboard. This is what you get when you log in. So you're going to want to make sure that when you come in here, when you create your account, by the way, before I forget this, if anybody is interested in Realeflow, when this is done, make sure you reach out to me, or I can share a link with you, because I've coordinated a deal with Realeflow. They've always taken good care of the members of the group. Well, they gave me a really good deal for anybody that wants to subscribe. We can save you a lot of money, plus you get a couple of bonuses that you don't get with a normal subscription and with Realeflow. One is a Facebook marketing class, one is a private lending class, a course, and those don't come with, you have to purchase those separately. And we're going to save you a significant amount of money on a 1-year subscription. So don't let me forget that. If you are interested, make sure you reach out to me for that. So again, this is the dashboard, but one thing you're gonna want to do is make sure you come in here and set up the account. Go through and set up your profile so that all the information is in here. If you don't do it, I'll show you what happens if you leave things blank in here, okay? So you can go in and set up some account notifications, some email settings. You know, if you have other people in your business, then you can add in emails for them. You can create users here in your business. You can put in all your company info. You can create custom fields to document certain things. For example, I use a lot of this for land trust. So you can generate documents from your Realeflow account once you get it all set up. And I've got it set up to be able to generate land trust documents. So that's what these custom fields can be used for, but you can use them for whatever you want to. You can do some data backup here, properties, contacts, and tasks. They do their own backups, but it'd be best if you do a backup and then they give that to you in a CSV file so that you can have it just for your own peace of mind if you want. I highly recommend you do it. I probably don't do it enough. You can set up a fax. So if you, that's an add-on cost, but it doesn't cost much. You can have a fax set up so that it's connected right to your Realeflow account. And if you're initiating the communications through a particular property or person, then that any kind of future faxes go right into that account. So it's a pretty cool system. You can go in here and add your AI zip codes, your artificial intelligence zip codes. I have 3 currently, but you can get as many as you want to. There is a fee for that, but it's not a whole lot when you consider what you're getting there. And then integrations. There are some integrations that Realeflow is doing now with Zapier, and I am not using these, but I am probably going to start using some of the ones related to contacts and text messaging. But to me, the technology is just a little bit mind-boggling for me, so I haven't done it. Okay, so again, make sure you go set up your profile with your company, your name, and your phone number and stuff, because it's going to come into play when it's time to go market your properties for sale. So coming down this side is your menu. You've got your dashboard, you've got your properties. So, you know, if you click on all these, you can see, you know, it'll bring up all the properties and stuff and contacts. This is what they call the list view. So you'll see, you know, all these names and cities and zip codes and stuff. That's all part of the contacts. Remember, I was telling you can build it by the type of buyer that you're working on, and the sellers go in there too. When you put in a name or a property, it pulls up the public information. And I'll show you that here in just a second. You can manage all your websites. So here's all of my websites that I have connected to Realeflow. So I just come in here and I can click on edit and open them all up and go in and edit all those. If you are familiar with WordPress, they're very straightforward, very simple to edit, but you can edit those right in Realeflow. So here's your direct mail. You can come in here and you have tracking numbers you can purchase and use them for the different types of campaigns. So if you wanted one for pre-foreclosure, you wanted one for probate, you wanted one for ugly house, pretty house, you can have all those added in here and be able to track those. You can tailor all the settings and stuff on what you want to go on the postcards. And it's really simple to go create a campaign. So my last one here, you can see it was 618 people. I did some custom stuff here. I was doing some testing of a custom postcard, so that's what that was. But you can see I've done a variety of different things in here. And this, like I said, this is a very inexpensive way to send direct mail. By the way, on return cards, when you go if you set up a campaign for 3 mailings and you have return cards, you can go in there and update the system and they'll give you credit back. That's what you see up here is this credit. Okay. So very, very easy to go in there and set that up. You can also do, instead of postcards, you can do personally penned letters. And you've probably seen the handwritten yellow letter. That is an example. I'm not going to go in here because I may not get back out very easy. But it's an example of the penned letter, and they have some really good technology that really looks like good handwriting. Lead pipes, that is the notice coming back here. You have property leads, people leads. So if you're looking for cash buyers or private lenders, you can do that. You have commercial leads, and then you have probate leads. So in Realeflow, probate is one that you have to buy as an additional lead. You cannot, that's not included. When I mentioned earlier that you have 17 types of leads to choose from, probate is not one of them. We can get you can get probate leads through the Real Estate IQ list, and we can get you a discount on that too. So the probate leads are not a good one in here. By the way, the other lead type that you don't want to use in Realeflow is pre-foreclosure. Because Texas is a 21-day state, they go to foreclosure very quickly, and the list will be outdated before you ever get it in Realeflow. So do not use pre-foreclosure or probate in Realeflow. You're better off to get those from Real Estate IQ. Okay. All right. So that's leads. So analyze. You have the deal analyzer, repair estimator, and the rehab planner. So the deal analyzer is very simple. So you can come in here, and this is by the way, this is my oh, never mind. So this is deals that I've analyzed in the past. You come in here and click on these, and you come in here and what happened? Okay, so here is the you have a multi-page and you have a single page property analyzer in here. And what you do is you come in here and turn these things on and off as to whether or not they're going to be included in your analysis. I'm sorry, I'm getting you confused here. This is under the deal analyzer. I want to back up here to the rehab planner first. Okay, I want to make sure I cover this. So in the rehab planner, you have repair estimate defaults. So you can come in here, and if you have a working relationship with a general contractor, you can come in here and edit all of these changes, all of these prices for all these different things. Okay. The numbers you see in here, don't take them as accurate and gospel and that they're correct. Okay. They're not. These are coming from a national cost estimation tool or service that they use, and a lot of places use it. And these are averages across the country. What you need to do is come in and custom tailor each one of these based on your experience and the arrangement you've worked out with your general contractor or rehabbers or HVAC companies or roofers or whatever. Just come in there and change it and then hit save. That way, and I do this almost on every deal, I don't have numbers on all these things, but I go in and I edit them whenever I do another deal with a contractor. I can get some more accurate numbers, and I come in here and I add them to my defaults. Okay, this is under the default section. So very important that you pay close attention to that. Okay, then once you've got that saved, then you can come over here to the repair estimate list. This is the ones to show you that, you know, anything you've already created in the past. Since there is no estimate done for this house here, then you come in here and hit create. Now you can do this in your phone and tablet too. Okay, so keep that in mind. This is similar to the West DFW REI Group's website, the Pro upgrade that you can get. It has the repair estimator in it, and you can do that on your phone and tablet as well. The difference is this one here in Realeflow is much more detailed, much more. There's a way to do it in the group's website, premium upgrade, to account for it. But if you are the detail-oriented kind of person, then this tool is probably what you're looking for. At this point, you can rename this if you want to. And I'm just going to put demo in here. Okay, it automatically captures the square footage. You hit create. And what it's going to do is present all of the different things that you need to consider for your repair estimate. So if you need a roof, you click yes. And then based on all these different things here, you check what you need, and notice it automatically puts in the prices in there. So you just come in here and check the boxes. Now, even though these are coming up in the default prices, maybe there's an exception to this house. Maybe you have a new contractor, so you don't know how much this is going to be, or maybe you're getting a special deal here, so or not, you know. So whatever it is, you can make those edits, and then when you hit save, then it's going to be in here for this. If you're editing in a property level, it's going to be only affected to this particular property. Okay. Not in the default. So you got to make sure you're thinking about it like that, and not think that's the default, because it's not. So you can come in here and just pick all these different things that that you want to have in this particular house. You know, this is in my default list. I know that I can get windows for $550 a piece. We used to pay $350. Now they're $550 a piece. So, and notice general or average size, and then you just pick how many, and notice it automatically adjusts. Okay. So anyhow, you just go through and do that whole thing. Here's a subtotal. When it's all done, you hit save. I'm not going to check any of the others right now. And notice it tells you it was saved successfully. And then you can come up here and hit generate documents. And when you do that, it's going to spit out that repair estimate. Okay. And that's the one I was telling you about that you can use. It's a nice, pretty package that you can send or hand deliver to your seller along with your offer, so they understand why your offer is what it is. Any questions on Repair Analyzer?
Is there any I haven't used this tool yet, so is there any things for like septic tanks or wells or anything that's not the norm?
That is a category in here.
Okay.
I can tell you that I just did a aerobic septic system in Parker County, and it cost me about $13,000.
Was that pretty close to your default cost that was already in their system?
I've already put that in here in mine, so I don't remember what it was originally. It seemed like the default was 12, but I don't remember honestly, Keith.
Okay.
But it is important to, work these numbers, be thinking about the real cost in your market. You may get a different price from your connections. You may have family that will give you a better deal on the cost for a septic or the cost for a roof or installation or painting per square foot and things like that. So those numbers, you need to always be thinking about it and be thinking about, oh, you got to go update that in the defaults here. That way it's available to you in the next deal. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then the next one was the rehab planner. And this is one that I don't use very often just because it takes a lot of work. And I say that to say it's not that it's really hard, it's just there's a lot to it. And you gotta know what you want. You gotta go look at these things and decide what items you want to have in your house. And I just don't, as you can see, there's nothing in here, so I've chosen to not really deal with this. But if you really want to get into a detailed scope of work and be able to give it to your contractor, then this is the thing to do. Notice here it spits out the scope of work in a PDF or a Word document so that you can print it out. If you choose Word, then you can go in there and edit it, which is what I do prefer you do, or what I prefer to do. And but it's really handy. And if I was, I've done it long enough now where I don't really go this route. But if you are working with a brand new contractor that you've never worked with before, you might want to think about doing this so that you know exactly what you asked them, and if you're getting multiple estimates, then everybody's getting the same information to quote from, if that makes sense. Okay, but you can see here, there's a lot of stuff in here. You can go in and put prices to all this stuff. You can come in and click and edit all these different things. And like I said, I don't use it just because there's a lot to it. But it does connect you to all the Home Depot SKUs, which is a nice thing. Okay, back to the deal analyzer. I wanted to make sure I covered that repair estimator first. So up here, you've got create new and you've got defaults too. So, you can come in here and change up the interest rates and stuff, holding times, property taxes, if you have averages, things like that. You can come edit all these different things. So I would recommend that you play with it so that you understand if you make a change here, how it affects your deals. Okay. So and if you think you screwed something up, you can restore it back to the original. Okay. So this is a bunch of stuff I've done over the years. And
Hey, Tim.
yes.
For us new people who never really looked at a house before, how do you feel about the little videos that come in the repair estimator? Are they pretty relevant or?
To me, I think if you know nothing at all, if you've never walked a house, you never put put estimates together, it's probably a good thing.
Okay.
I've done enough of it where I didn't think it was that helpful to me. So just look at it from that perspective. And what you might do is try and get, if you have a good relationship with a contractor, you might have them sit down and go through those videos. Those videos have been there a long time, and the people that put them together are, are pretty experienced background. So, and I honestly haven't looked through all of them because there's quite a few. But if you know nothing at all, it's probably worth looking at them.
That's me.
And that's where, getting a contractor, Keith, that you can start building relationships with and walk through the houses together with them and pick their brain on how this stuff works. So a lot of times, the contractor I'm using now, I'll go ask him for what his cost is per whatever, painting or HVAC or electrical and stuff. And I'll go plug them in here. It's not to go, bypass him, but it's for the purposes of putting together a rough estimate the first time I walk through it. And then I'll have him go walk it, when we're either before or after the contract, and then just kind of finalize the numbers. But I try not to, I've been doing this long enough where I have a pretty good idea of what things cost, but I try not to bother my contractor for every house I go and look at. So if I can pick his brain, get the info and plug it in the defaults, then I don't have to bother him until I know we're going forward on it, if that makes sense. So this is a pretty detailed deal analysis sheet. I kind of like the one in the group better, but the one thing I'll tell you while I'm thinking about this is, there's a lot of deal analysis tools out there like this. Rehab Evaluator's got another one that's not too bad. The group's pro upgrade is really simple to walk through a house with. This one's more detailed, but it's all in what you get used to, right? So as long as you understand what's going into this, and if you plug in your numbers and stuff, and as long as you know all these numbers are correct, and what you've changed, and and you understand the data input, why are the numbers what they are, you got to get used to all these numbers, and you got to go play with it and exercise it. Go put in a deal. You don't have to even to play with it. You don't even have to have a real deal, right? Just pretend, go find it, pull an address, and just start going through and plugging in numbers and seeing how the total purchase and repair costs come out, and what the monthly holding costs are going to be, and things like that. So just play with it and exercise it so that when it's time for a real deal, you're much more comfortable with it. Okay, so spend some time with it. And oh, by the way, Realeflow does live training, and they have a huge knowledge base of training videos. Have you gotten into any of those, Keith?
Yeah, I've been watching the videos. I've done the marketing campaigns. I've done the autoresponders.
Yep.
And they have a really good support team. You call them and they're pretty much on the spot.
That's right. Very, very supportive. But so go watch the videos. They do live calls too, so you can attend those if you have time. But then when you get done with this, make sure you go print out the reports and stuff, and generate the documents so you can see what it all looks like. they have some pretty nice reports when it's all said and done. Any questions on Deal Analyzer? Financing, we talked about this. This is the pre-approval letter. I have not used it. And like I said, if you really need proof of funds or funding, there's probably people in the group that can help you with that, most of that. So under communicate, we have email. So everybody in your list, you are able to send an email to, as long as you have an email address. And this is just showing a list of emails that I have done. It shows you the number of recipients. You can click on the little graph here and go see the open rates and all that kind of stuff. So you can go read all that stuff in here. But the way you send an email is you come back over here to your contacts and you choose whatever contact it is you want to send to, or you can do entire list if that's what you're after. But before you do that, one of the nice things about what Realeflow has done is you have what's called tags, and you have statuses, inactive, deleted. So if you wanted to send something to all the deleted contacts or inactive contacts, you can do that, or by type. So if you want to send an email to all your landlords or accountants or bird dogs, you can do that. Or if you wanted to choose the source. So, if you, like my all wholesale properties websites generate a lot of buyers leads. So I have them by source. I can say all wholesale properties, and that'll sort the list, and I can send an email to just that list. But what tags does is it allows you to further refine what on top of this. So you can do all these. What I've done, for example, is I've tagged most of my investor buyers as for DFW. So this will sort, it'll filter my whole list and down to 2,440 that are just strictly DFW. Okay, I can do this for anything. Matter of fact, I've done this for Realeflow users. I have a tag for Realeflow users. I have cities. I can, if I have buyers in Detroit, Michigan, or if I'm trying to reach out to anybody that does drainage work, I can do all that kind of stuff by coming up with a tag to label them with. And then I can filter my list by those tags. And then you can create, an email. So you can do an email. You can add them to an autoresponder. So if you had a seller that you spoke with, and they were pre-foreclosure, in my particular case, I have avoid foreclosurefortworth.com. So I can add this person to that autoresponder for that. You can send a text message, but only if they have opted in with Mobi. So if you come down here and the way you tell if they've opted in is this little bubble, opt in to mobile. And that means that they have given permission to send them text messages. So anybody that's done that, you can check the box and you can come up here and say text message or voice message, either one. So you can pre-record voice messages. This is a feature that I should be using and haven't been, but I could even use it to promote these kind of classes, is create a voicemail and send it out, and as another way of marketing. You can also, if you've got an address for them, you can send them right to a direct mail campaign, or you can go skip trace them. So this list view has a lot of capability in here to manage it and do different things with it. Any questions about this? Everybody's falling asleep, I can see.
Does it come with some preset types and sources already, or do you have to fill all that in as well?
No, it has some stuff in there, but
Okay.
all of the tags are custom.
Right.
I believe this is by default. And I think there's some basic, investor landlord type things in here, but you can customize like bird dogs and
Okay.
SEO agents. I've added all that stuff.
Okay.
And the source is custom. So
Okay.
the source means, did it come from one of your websites?
Right.
You can see here different websites that I've gotten leads in from. Car advertisement, if somebody calls in, there's things like that. So I have several websites. So you see quite a few different websites here. So every source, if they're coming in through the system automatically documents this part. If you are manually adding them, so for example, so this is a good point. If you got a phone call, then you click on create contact. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just start talking to them and you start filling in the blanks and is it a seller? Yes or no? Is it a buyer? Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
You fill in the blanks here. And then down here you have other, and then you can also enter a new type. And then is this particular contact linked to a property? Is it a buyer, a seller? And what's the relationship? So this part I like because I can really track every contact related to a property. So, my big house that I just sold, so you have a global search up here. So you can search on any address in your account. And what I really like is that I can track every single contact over here related to this house. So 5 years from now, I say, who did I use for the chimney repair? I know I used somebody on Rocky Ridge Lane. I can come in here and figure out who that is. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And trust me, I use this a lot. Okay.
Well, that's helpful.
Let's take this. We have, here's the property profiles, what they call it, but the property address. And this is really called a summary of the important things to you about that property. You can customize this. And then down here, you have all these different fields that you can fill out and sources and stuff to track. And then any activities or notes about this property, details about the property itself, the mortgage, your negotiations with the seller, the public information that's available, anything about the listing, and then any kind of linked contacts. So you can go in here and enter contacts to be added over here. And then you have custom fields. Okay. One important thing is everything you add into this activity field or activity tab is permanent history.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't change it or edit it. All you can do is add another entry. So you notice here, see what I've done? I put in here when I sold it and I highlighted it to make it really stand out. But I made all these different entries, and you know, you can see there's a total of 78 in here. So there's a lot of data in the 6 months I owned that house. Does that make sense? So very, very helpful because you can go back there and look at everything and, you know, make sure, you know, if you forgot what paint colors, you know, I put in the paint colors and the paint chips and all that kind of stuff in there as history. So I have it. I can go back to, if I say, I like that paint color on Rocky Ridge, what did I use? I can go back here and I can find it. But you
Now, how did you get the contractor information to attach itself to this file, or the plumber, or the whoever you use?
So you just go add contacts right here. Okay. You can also do it right here, but I find it's just easier. And there's some more contractor options when you come in here and do it this way. So just click on linked contacts and add a contact. And then it gives you all these fields to answer the questions. And that connects it to this property. Now, if he's already in the system, let's say your HVAC guy, you've used him before, coming here and saying add, it's gonna, when you start typing in the name, it's gonna pull it up automatically if he's in your system. If he's not in your system, then you can add him, which will also add it to the list, the contact list, not just this property. Okay, got it?
Yep.
So under property, you know, a lot of this info is pulled up from public records, but it's not always on public records. So you just have to go through here and fill everything out. I would encourage you, if you're not a detail-oriented person, I would encourage you to put as much stuff in here as you possibly can. You never know when you have to come back to it and need it in the future. The one thing that I have never been successful at trying to get Realeflow to update is this additional remarks and property details. This is actually your marketing paragraph for when it's time to sell the house. Okay. The system pulls this paragraph as your marketing piece. And I'll try and show you that here in a bit. So remember that this is where you're going to put your, you know, why is this house the best thing since sliced bread kind of thing. You know, what do you want to say about this house to get it sold? It goes in this paragraph. Okay. So very important that you remember that. There is no such thing as too much information. So I would encourage you to put everything in here. As you talk to a seller, as you talk to buyers, you can do all that. And documents, I'll show you in a second. You can upload documents. That way, everything is here if you ever need it in the future. And I really do document a lot of stuff. You can add room dimensions. You can add the room names and the dimensions here. So there's a lot of power in this system to document things. The mortgage info, if there's mortgage information on public records, then it pulls that info, puts it in there. You're going to find that you're going to have to update it though. So you still, even though you have it, you're going to want to ask the sellers for information about it. The negotiations, the owner's selling asking price, you know, what are they asking? You know, they're flexible. You can go through and answer all these questions. If you have a photographic memory and you remember everything that's ever said between a buyer and seller, maybe you don't need to document, but I find that I need to document as much as I can. So as I'm talking to them, I'll fill a lot of this stuff out. Now, there's some things that I never use in this system, and maybe you will, maybe you won't, but there's some things that I just don't use. Here's all the public information that the system, Realeflow extracted it from public records and put it in here for me. But you're going to see, a lot of times, especially on properties that maybe haven't sold since they implemented the county records, a lot of times they're going to show 0 bedrooms, 0 bathrooms. So you can't edit it on the public tab, but under property, you can come in here and add bedrooms and bathrooms. Okay. Listing, same thing. Listing information on acquisition, listing information on sale. Okay. And then this is the price that the home sold for, what I was asking. So this is important. This gets captured in your marketing. So what I mean by that is when that property is published, here's the link that it goes out on, and there's the asking price. Remember earlier I said you had to put your contact information in your profile and it'll benefit you when it's time to market properties. Well, there it is. Okay, you got to have that information in the system to make it work. Remember that property description paragraph I told you was the marketing paragraph? There it is. Okay. All the details about that property, there's where they display. So you want to make sure that you get that information in the system so that the system can help you promote that property. Okay. Link contacts, we already talked about, and then custom fields. So this is all the trust information and stuff that was used in the purchase of that property. Okay, so documents. Remember I mentioned earlier that you can upload and save documents. So you have 2 different things you can do. Here in the activities tab, you have your kind of like a Microsoft Word, editor thing. You've got your bold and underline and italics, and then you've got links, so you can put a link in here. You've got images, so you can insert an image in here. And you can do all that here in the notes in this activities. You can also go, and if you're just trying to save documents, what I use the image here for is, for example, my paint chip colors and numbers. I'll take a screenshot of that paint chip with the number on it and I'll insert it here. Okay. Or if I had a bill or something, something that was of particular importance, I'll put it in here. Or maybe I'll scan a business card for one of the contractors that I used and I'll put it in here. This is where you do it through that image. But with regards to documents, I come in here and I add folders, so I'm kind of keeping it organized. Notice I have an analysis and offer folder, the purchase documents, the rehab expenses, and the sale documents. And you can put anything else that you want in here, but I just try and keep some level of organization. I'm not always that detailed with it or that organized, but I try to keep them semi-organized just to make it simple. If I just had to look through the list of documents, there's a lot of documents in here. Okay. So you can put, I believe, any kind of document in here. There is a limit on video size, so I can't remember what it is, but it's a pretty good size. Otherwise, you can put pretty much anything in here to save it. This information is not permanent history, so you can come over here and delete it if you wanted. But, you know, by putting it in here, you know, you could be on travel somewhere and some question comes up about your contract or something. All you have to do is log into Realeflow, come into the account and go into the documents and go find it. This is a nice feature to have, you know, unless you're keeping everything on Dropbox or Box and so forth. But even still, I've got to the habit of putting everything in the property now. Expenses. You can come in here and track every bit of expense that you have paid on this particular house. So I had a lot of money in that house between purchase and rehab. But you can keep details in here. You can export them into a CSV file. You could use them for taxes if you did it that way. We don't do it for that reason. But this gives me a real-time look at all the expenses on everything that I paid on that house. You like that?
Yeah.
I don't use the maintenance tab, but you could go in here and document maintenance type things in here. Paperless office. This is where you can go generate documents. So in your paperless office, I'm not going to go into it now because there's a little detail behind it. But there's you can go in and set up a basic contract. You can set up trust documents. You can set up, if you buy houses subject to or just wholesale or whatever it is you do, you can set up your documents in the paperless office and generate those documents really simple, right out of Realeflow. You can upload photos and videos for that particular property. Okay. Everything goes in here. You can name them. I typically don't, but you can put them all in here and then they'll all show on the website when it's time to sell. You can power link. So power link is, say, Keith, you and I decide that we're going to work together on a particular property. And especially on the buying side. So let's say I have a lead over in your neck of the woods and I don't want to drive there and you and I are going to work together on it. I can power link all of the property details of this property to you by assigning you as the power link user here. And then you will be able to log into your account and see all that information that I've shared with you.
Nice.
Is that cool?
Yeah, that is.
So if you had an acquisitions manager, then you could share with him the information about this property that you wanted him to see. Now, the other thing about it is that with these accounts is you can have up to 15 users unless you get, there is a cheap version that you get one user. But I think it's the pro level, you get 15. So if you have multiple people in your business, then you could give them user permissions, but the downside to that is they're going to see everything in the account. So as long as you don't care about that, that's fine. But if you just have a bird dog, for example, somebody out working leads that you get in from all over the place. You know, I could have bird dogs all over DFW, all over the country, truthfully. and just power link that property information to them. So it's a pretty cool feature. And to my knowledge, none of the other CRM tools do this. Okay, so task, you can also generate and track tasks here for each property. And you can do it at the company level. You can also, if you're doing it from within a property, then when you add a task, it's going to be specific to this property. Okay, so you can go in and name it. I don't ever use the project name. I don't need that. You can put in the due date of it. You can put in a status of not started, waiting, deferred, completed. So when you're creating it, usually I just leave it there. Is it a call, an appointment, a follow-up, an email? I consider them all high priority, so I just leave them there. And then you can put in what the description of the task is. Okay. You can set up reminders in the system to email you a reminder when that task is coming due. So if I go up, where I use task a lot is for my assistant. I use it mostly for sending the next mail campaign, you know, or a reminder to call so-and-so about contractor or something, you know, whatever it is. But it's usually with something like that. You can add as many tasks. There's no limit to what you can add to it. You can put as many as you want. Okay. Something else that I like here a lot is, you know, you can color code the stars. You can pick, you know, by how important is it to you. You can note it. It's kind of hard to see in here, but these color labels, I've created a little chart where I have red is pre-foreclosure, yellow is cash or wholesale, green is under contract or own it, blue is subject to owner finance, and D is, or black is probate. So you can change these colors up here. I'm sorry, you can change them right here, and you'll see a difference in color in the heading up here. Okay. And if you have a favorite, you can also tag it as a favorite. So this one was cash. Yeah, yellow. Okay. So, and then, you know, if you have multiple people in your office that you want to keep up with what you've done on that particular property, you can put them in here as managers or followers, I'm sorry. So there's a lot of control in Realeflow for a team environment. A lot of control. All right, and then power matching. Here's one of the, remember I told you I was going to tell you about some of the main reasons I like Realeflow. So one of them is power match. Earlier I mentioned you could build your list. Let me clarify that. I think this is one of the biggest reasons to use Realeflow, in my opinion, because you can build your list like we talked about earlier, you know, owner finance, buyer, renter, landlord, wholesaler, commercial. You can build that list and then, and by city, right? Remember I said you do it by city. So you're not giving somebody that wants only Weatherford, you're not giving them, you know, California, Alaska, Florida, Houston, you know, you're not giving them leads from all over the place. You're giving them what they've asked for, and you're not bogging down their email. But so you build that list, and then when it's time to sell this property, now I want buyers that want a house in Weatherford, right? So that's how you do it, is with Power Match. It's the automated process of matching buyers to houses. So when you first pull up this list, this is going to be everybody in your list. Okay. So what you're going to do to start off is you've got filters. We're going to filter by. Over here, you've got my buyers, which is the ones that I've personally put on this list, and then the community buyers. This is another piece, and especially so for brand new investors that don't have a big buyers list. The community means that 100,000 users across the country using Realeflow. So you come in here, you can click on the community buyers, and what you see here is the people that have said that they have buyers on their list for Weatherford, Texas, and you can see here who's got what. Okay, they must have really done something to this list, because usually this is a much longer list. But that's what this is for. If you had no buyers on your list, on your personal list, you have at least 18 here. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my buyers. And what you should always do is start with your buyers right here. Click on the filters and choose the type of buyer that you're after. Now, in this particular case, I'm after retail buyers, because I'm trying to sell this outright. It's going to take a second to reshuffle that list. You see, that's a much smaller list than what it was. If I come over here and I said investor, that's going to be a bigger list. So you can see I have a lot of investors that, want to buy in Weatherford. So that's the nice thing about these filters and about the Power Match function, is the system is automatically matching buyers to this particular city and state. Does that make sense, everybody? Any questions on that? Okay. And then on these matches here, bedrooms, bathrooms, and price, I don't ever use them. I recommend you not use them. Part of the reason is many buyers don't tell you what they're after. And, if you start specifying a certain price or square footage or bedrooms, bathrooms, they may be okay with doing one up or one down or something larger or smaller, and you may have missed them because you put the limitation on here. So don't even bother. Most buyers do not give you that level of detail. So just totally forget about using those. Okay? Does that make sense? And then, so I'm going to go back to retail for a second. Now, I'm not going to send this because, I've already sold this house. But the next step is, once you're going to come over here and click this check all box. Takes a second to process and get them all checked. Then you come over and hit send email. So now you're going to put your name and email address. You're going to customize the subject line, and notice it's got a boilerplate template in here, and it's got a link. Well, the link you don't want to change, because that link was generated by Realeflow of all the details that you already put in the system for that property. But this part here, you certainly want to customize it, and because all they've got is a boilerplate there, it doesn't pertain to your particular house. So go customize it to make it read whatever you want it to say. Try whatever you're trying to do to get their attention. You want to make that read that way. Okay. And then you want to come down here and put an email signature. Now you can come in and customize. Again, this is something you should do in your setup, is go create custom signatures. I've got a bunch, as you can see. One of mine is own a Texas home. So when I'm selling houses, that's what I'm promoting. Okay. If I'm trying to do something with TMC Property Solutions, that's my main company name. So I have a signature for that. I have a signature if I got a wholesale deal, I'm using that signature. So you can go in and customize those to do say whatever you want them to say. Okay. But the point here is customize this message, leave the link, and whatever you do, don't delete this, because that personalizes that email. Hi Keith, hi Kim, hi Sandy, whatever it is, whoever's there, that's going to autofill their name. It personalizes it. And then when you're all done with that, then you're going to hit send. You can send attachments with it, but you got to be careful there so that you're not sending something too big that's going to get kicked out of the system and so forth. Okay. Remember earlier, what did I say about text messaging and Mobi messaging? What has to happen?
You have to opt in.
Have to opt in. Notice what I've done here. This is my wholesale business, right? So text the word hot deals to 817-993-9930 to receive text notifications. So when they do that, they have now opted in to my buyers list. So you can go create marketing campaigns like that. You can go add that to your email signature. And if you let your imagination run with you, you can do a lot of things with something like that. By the way, Realeflow gives you that phone number for Mobi when you go set up your campaign. So very powerful tool, but you got to get it set up and working the way get all the setup part of it done in order to make it work the way you need it to. And then let's see. So we covered power matching, mobile marketing. So here's for mobile marketing. Here's where you come in to create your Mobi campaign specific to this property. Remember earlier I said you could create a voice message. You can go create a voice message in here and just follow the steps here on how to get it set up and stuff. And then it's going to give you a PIN number and to be used with the phone number for that ad campaign about this property. Hey, welcome to 524 Rocky Ridge Lane. This is a beautifully remodeled, large family home, 3,700 square foot with a pool, totally remodeled and absolutely gorgeous. Call, visit, whatever you want to say, but you can put that in the message and then put that on your emails, put that on your signs. People drive by and see that text and code number, they can go listen to that information. When they do that, when they dial into the PIN number and the text number, they get a instant text message with the map to the property, as well as the details and link to that property on your website, so they can see all that detail, and then they're able to contact you to go schedule an appointment. This is a powerful system. You just got to learn how to use it.
And you're a real estate agent as well, right?
Say again?
You're a real estate agent as well?
No. I am not. So published property means, you can pick what website you want it to go on. In my case, I have several to choose from, but you may only have one site, so you'll pick that one. And when you say yes, that puts it on your main site, and I'll show you that in a second. And then you got to fill in these blanks so that this information goes on your website too. If you had multiple sites like I do, then you have to choose I'm sorry, this one is for the order in which it shows up on your site if you have multiple properties. And then, so over here in the, I got too many things on my screen. And then, so when you say publish the website, it shows up on your site, and this is where it shows up. And you can build your buyers list by that little opt-in there. They can ask for more information about the property. It's got a map here for the property, all that stuff. So this is your public site, whatever site you're advertising and promoting your company on. You can have multiples. This is the one I use. Okay. I think we pretty well covered it all for the properties. Anybody know what a scrum board is?
No.
So a scrum board is, so if you come down here under manage scrum board, this is an overall view of what's going on in your business. So if you had a lot happening, you could track it here and manage it here. Okay. I haven't had a lot happening, so I haven't kept this up lately, but you can change these headings, these column headings, to whatever you want. So I have the first one, new leads to be pre-screened and appointments set, evaluating and appointments in work, offers in work, offers made or accepted, follow-up needed, and own, selling, or renting, or rehabbing, and it's at the title company, ready to close for buying or selling. So you can just simply drag and drop these to wherever they need to be, and it makes it very easy to see, as long as you keep it up. I haven't kept this up lately, but makes it very easy to see a snapshot of what you have going on in your business. You could, in reality, if you had 4 or 5 people in your business, you could make these names of those people and just put the properties under those people in the business. But this is a systems engineering type of tracking system, but it's very helpful in your business to once you have a lot of things going on. We are out of time, but let me see here. So internal messaging, remember I just showed you how to power match a house. Well, when you send that power match out, it's through an internal message. It doesn't go through email. It goes to the other users, or let me take that back. So when you send out the power match to your buyers, yes, it's going out in an email. If you choose the community buyers, that is an internal message from Realeflow user to Realeflow user, and it comes in right here under internal messages. So I have all of these internal messages that come to me, and I received these because I have people on my list that have a house in this, I'm sorry, I have people on my list that want to buy a house in the city where this property is listed at. So remember I said we match buyers by city, right? So that's why I get these from other investors, because I have buyers on my list. So I'm going to show you this. We have this person is trying to game the system here. He took the link out, and that's a big no-no. Here's the link that you want. So we're going to go pull up the link. So this particular house is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You can see this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
this house is in Pennsylvania. So if I come back here, he's telling me a little about it. He did, remember I said you should customize that email before it goes out. He just used the boilerplate and didn't customize it. Well, notice down here, view my matching buyers. So the system makes it real easy for me to see what buyers in my list match this Philadelphia, Pennsylvania house. So I click on that, view matching buyers. And these two people have come into my system from some marketing somewhere, somehow, sometime, and said, I want to buy a house in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Okay. So if you are interested in only local stuff, then, build your list locally. I have people coming in from all over the place that have signed up. So that's the reason I received that Power Match email, that internal message from that seller. I don't remember which company it was. Was it this one? So this one of the, I don't know, whatever company it was, that's the reason why I received that email, because I have buyers on my list. This guy's down in Houston, I believe. So see, he's customized his email signature a bit. He didn't really customize this part of it, but he's promoting his business. And here's where the property is in Ingleside, Texas. Notice he's got his info here. He's got his price up here. He's got the property details, and he put all the details, the write-up. Remember that property description? He did a good write-up there about that property. And I can go back there. I can say, choose or view my matching buyers. And now, if I wanted to reach out to this seller and say, if I bring you a buyer, would you like to joint venture, and can we work together? And if the two of you come up to an answer, an agreement, and you should get a signed option agreement between you, not just going off a verbal, but you should get a signed option agreement. Then you can click on this box, which is check all. They'll all be connected or checked. And then you can filter it if you need to. But most likely these are for Houston. Most of my list is investor type buyers. You hit send email and you do the same thing. Name, email, customize the message, customize the text, change the email signature or customize it, whatever you want, and then you hit send. When that happens, when you are working with somebody and you're going to power match it out to your list, if they say, yes, I'm interested, Realeflow sends that response back to you so that you know that they're interested. That way you can follow up with the seller and find out showing instructions and just kind of make sure you have a deal there if you send them a buyer. So that power match function, when we in my Realeflow workshop, we actually go through some use case scenarios like that where you can see it, how it actually works. And same thing with the Mobi text messaging stuff, is we do some exercises where you can see how the opt-ins work and how you create the text message and so forth. So the workshop is an all-day thing. I don't have a date yet, but if you're interested, let me know, and I'll be working on getting the date set up for that. But it's usually between 6 and 8 hours long. So that's pretty much it for now. What kind of questions do you have?
How do you use the system for your trying to find new property leads? Do you use Mobi at all, or the autoresponder? If you do a skip trace, I've been trying that.
Trying to find properties?
Find properties. So, you know, I skip trace absentee owners.
Okay.
I put them in, I did a marketing campaign. Realeflow is offering a new skip trace type where you can get emails. And then I set up an email autoresponder for them. Have you done any of that yet?
So I use the autoresponders a lot. I do it a little bit differently. What I've done, I've been using the Real Estate IQ premium list that's skip traced, and I will upload those emails into Realeflow and then put them into the autoresponder. So you can send, have those autoresponders working for you 24/7. I've customized all of my autoresponders, and I encourage you to do the same thing. And then, make them say what you want them to say. So I work the pre-foreclosures and probates primarily. So I'll upload those pre-foreclosures and the probate list with emails, and then I can put them into the autoresponder campaign for that particular website. So avoidforeclosurefortworth.com is my pre-foreclosure website, and webuyhomesandprobate.com is my probate. So I'm putting people into those two autoresponder series so that the system is marketing for me to those people.
Okay.
I'm not doing much skip tracing just because I'm using the lists that are skip traced.
Are those with the Real Estate IQ, are those scrubbed through the DNC?
I can't tell you for sure, Keith. It's been a while since I looked at that, but that's what they specialize in, is that kind of stuff. So I'm pretty sure they are.
Okay.
It's like I said, it's been a long time since I read it or heard them say, but I'm pretty sure that they are.
Yeah, I want to get into pre-foreclosures, and I didn't know that Realeflow was horrible until I did a mailer.
Yes.
Yeah, it was bad. So on the Real Estate IQ, so they haven't gone into actual foreclosure.
Correct.
Okay, so they're like 90 days past due, and you get a list, or
30, 60, 90.
30, 60, 90. Nice.
That's the definition of pre-foreclosures. They've been late at least on one payment.
Right.
Okay.
So, and I'm going to probably be doing a subject to workshop pretty soon as well. That's probably going to come before the Realeflow workshop, but sub 2 is a great way to buy those pre-foreclosure houses.
Well, sign me up.
And just watch the emails. You'll be seeing them coming.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else got a question? Donald, welcome to the call. I see you come in here a little bit later. Okay.
Thanks, Tim.
I'm going to let you go.
Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Just a couple reminders about upcoming events. For the ladies on the call, we've got the new ladies group Keith, I don't know if your wife has been on those calls at all or not, but if you would just mention it to her, we're meeting on the 4th Monday evening of every month now. And those are going
Okay.
pretty good. And then
What time?
they go at 5:45 and they've been going about an hour, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it was about an hour and 10 minutes, somewhere in there. We covered so many topics.
Good.
I just kind of started with one and then it branched. But it was great. I really liked it.
Good.
I really liked it. I think it's a group of really, really cool ladies. And I think we can all, even because I'm a greenhorn, of course, but I think we've learned a lot just across the board from each other.
Good.
About different things, even the seasoned ones. I'm very impressed with.
That's what it's for.
Yeah. So it's very interesting.
Even though I'm leading these calls, I learned so much from every one of you on the call.
Yeah.
And the same thing when I was a mentor for all of Ron LeGrand's Texas and Canadian students, I didn't feel like I was qualified as a mentor when I was doing it, but man, I learned so much from everybody. But after 5 years of doing that, it was hard to keep up with everything. So
yeah.
But can you see my my schedule again or screen?
Yes, sir.
So next week, we've gotten we're doing a members and guest overview of the benefits of the group. So this is not a sales pitch, but a overview in detail of the website, the group website, and all the benefits that you get as a member. That's what that's all about. And then Saturday, the 3rd, Martin Garcia with the title company is going to come talk to us about the intricacies of closing investor deals and all the scams and weird stuff that he's seeing going on right now.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a good meeting. I highly recommend you come if you can. I'm going to be plugging in another comps class coming up in here somewhere. I'm not sure where yet, but I'm going to start doing those and these member benefit reviews periodically and setting up your website, your group website that's included in your membership and stuff like that. So
on the membership, do you have discounts to join up with Real Estate IQ?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So
I need to pick on you.
All right. So the to start with, as a member, when you join, you get a trial sample of the premium leads. You get 150 leads from Tarrant County of the premium leads that have up to 5 phone numbers and up to 5 email addresses. And then if you like that and you want to subscribe, then we have a promo code that will get you 10% for life discount.
Okay.
Okay. And is anybody using Propelio for comps?
Mike's a real estate agent.
Yeah. So Propelio is our recommended comps tool to get you MLS comps. And I knew your wife was an agent, but if you're not an agent, Propelio is a good option for true comps. And what I was going to tell you there is that you can also get leads out of Propelio. And they're true motivated seller leads. I mean, that's all set up to pull all that stuff from public records. And you can also skip trace, but that's an extra fee. But it's also, a little extra work for you. Even though you can pull the leads, you have to go do the filtering to the way you want it to be done. Whereas Real Estate IQ is doing all that work for you and just providing the leads to you. So a little different in the workload and stuff. So Propelio is not giving you just comps, they're giving you lead access as well, and a mobile app. So
Nice.
and a lot of realtors are actually using Propelio because of all the information that it gives you. So okay, well listen, I'm I've got to go. I've got another appointment coming up. Got to go look at a house and with a seller and a contractor. But good talking to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully, I just saw Don's question. What is privy, Don? You can unmute yourself there, young man. Okay,
Going once, going twice. Don, are you there?
yep. So I guess it's not. So gonna have to I don't know what privy is, so I need to let everybody go, and I look forward to seeing you soon. If anybody's interested in the Realeflow subscription, it's on the store in the group. I can send you a link to it as well, but it's a significant savings. I think their standard monthly now is like 125, and I can get it for you for 75. So.
Yeah, I can answer the privy question really quick. Sorry, I thought he was typing it. It's kind of like an email blaster in a way. It's talked about in a lot of the Facebook groups that you join, because there's a gazillion of them out there. You just got to pick and choose which ones are really prevalent. But that's what it is. No, I have not used it. I just heard of it.
So let me say this. There's a
ton of email blasters out there. Tons of them.
There is a ton of them, and they all do a little bit different things.
Yeah.
The thing to keep in mind is the tools that are built into Realeflow do not have any extra cost to them, and they're tied together. So that's the thing I like about it. And everybody likes something different, but I've tried the other tools and they were external to Realeflow, and that means there's extra work if you're trying to document and track things inside of Realeflow. So that's why I quit using them. So, all right, folks, need to let you go.
All right, thank you.
Have a great day. And this video will get uploaded onto the calendar for today, but it'll be a couple days down the road. So
no worries. All right. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Go buy a house.